YN POV. If someone told me that wearing a backless silk gown tonight would end with me strapped to a steel pipe in a freezing bank vault, I would have stayed home in my pajamas. Keep your head down, pretty girl, Jungkook growls, his hand physically entirely clamped around the back of my neck, forcing me to duck, as a shower of crystal from the chandelier rains down on us. 10 minutes ago, we were sipping champagne at this ridiculously lavish underground casino. I was supposed to be his +1, or more accurately, his shiny little distraction. But then, Boss Choi from the Northern District looked at me for exactly 3 seconds too long. I felt Jungkook's entire body tense. The terrifyingly calm smile on his face was the only warning I got before all hell broke loose. Now? There's a literal shootout happening. Jungkook kicks open the heavy steel door of the VIP vault, dragging me inside and slamming it shut with a deafening thud. The sudden silence in the room rings in my ears, but my chest is heaving. I can't catch my breath. I'm shaking so hard my heels are literally clicking against the marble floor. Jungkook, oh my god, what is happening? I gasp, backing up until my spine hits the cold metal of the safety deposit boxes. They have guns, literal automatic weapons. We need to call the police. I am the police tonight. YN, he says calmly. Too calmly. He steps into my personal space, completely unbothered by the chaos outside. He smells like Tom Ford cologne, expensive scotch, and the sharp tang of gunpowder. It's intoxicating, and I hate it. I try to dart past him. I can't stay in here. I'm going to suffocate. I need to... Hey. He catches my wrists in one massive tattooed hand, pinning them above my head against the steel pipe running along the wall. His dark eyes lock onto mine, the playful boy I know entirely gone, replaced by the ruthless mafia boss everyone else fears. You are hyperventilating, and if you run out that door, you die. I'm not letting that happen. Before I can protest, he reaches down with his free hand and unbuckles his leather belt. The clink of the metal buckle echoes in the vault, making my stomach do a violent, embarrassing flip. What are you doing? My voice pitches up, a mix of genuine panic and something else I refuse to name. Grounding you, he murmurs, his voice dropping low. He wraps the thick leather around my wrists, looping it securely around the steel pipe. It's not tight enough to hurt, but it's tight enough that I can't move. I tug against it, gasping as his chest brushes against mine. He leans in close, his lips grazing the shell of my ear. Be a good girl and stay exactly right here. I stop breathing. My heart is threatening to crack my ribs open. He pulls back, his eyes darkening as they trace the way my wrists look bound above my head in my elegant gown. He clears his throat, tearing his gaze away before he pulls a small black earpiece from his jacket pocket and tucks it gently into my right ear. Don't take this out, he orders, brushing a stray piece of hair out of my eyes. I need to know you're safe, and I want you to know exactly when I'm coming back for you. He loads a fresh magazine into his gun, the metallic click-clack sending a shiver down my spine. With one last burning look at me, he slips out the vault door, locking it from the outside. I am alone, tied up, heart racing, then the earpiece crackles to life. Testing, testing. Hey, you hear me, pretty girl? His voice is right in my ear, deep and raspy, accompanied by the sound of his heavy footsteps. I swear to God, John Jungkook, when you untie me, I'm going to kill you. I hiss into the silent room, hoping the mic on the earpiece picks it up. A low, vibrating chuckle echoes in my ear. Cute. Hold that thought, pretty girl. 3 loud gunshots ring through the earpiece. I flinch, squeezing my eyes shut. Ruin my favorite suit. Jungkook sighs over the comms, completely unhinged. Anyway, as I was saying, you looked absolutely breathtaking tonight, YN. Choi couldn't keep his eyes off you. I had to shoot him. You understand, right? You shot him? I scream whisper. Just a little bit. In the kneecap, then in heart, maybe. Duck. Namjoon, on your left. More gunfire, the sound of glass shattering. Then, a heavy breath right into the mic. Your pulse is racing. I can hear you breathing, sweetheart. Are you scared of the guns and shooting? Or does my belt look a little too good on you? Jungkook POV. I wipe a smear of blood off my cheek with the back of my hand, stepping over a groaning guard in the hallway. Normally, I'd be entirely focused on clearing the floor. But right now, all I can think about is the image burned into my brain. YN. Flushed, chest heaving, secured to that pipe. The absolute contrast of her soft, delicate skin against the rough leather of my belt. God, she looked incredible. You are a psychopath. Her voice trembles through my earpiece, but beneath the fear, I can hear the breathless hitch in her throat. Only for you, baby, I say smoothly, aiming down the sights of my Glock and taking out a guy trying to flank me from the stairs. 2 more minutes, and I'm coming back to the vault. Start thinking about how you're going to thank me for saving your life. I smile, waiting for her sassy comeback. Instead, there's silence. YN? I say, my teasing tone dropping instantly. A terrifying metallic scraping sound comes through the comms. J. Jungkook. Her voice is a fragile, terrified whisper. Someone is trying to pick the vault door open. My blood runs ice cold. YN POV. The metallic scritch-scratch of a lockpick against the vault door is the most terrifying sound I've ever heard. It's thin, rhythmic, and persistent. I tug at the leather belt again, the skin on my wrists starting to burn. Jungkook, I whisper, my voice cracking. Jungkook, please. Someone is right outside. I can see the handle moving. Don't you dare move, YN. His voice hits my ear, and it's different now. The playful, flirtatious lilt is dead. It's replaced by a cold, vibrating rage that makes my hair stand on end. Hide behind the safety deposit boxes. As far back as the belt lets you go, do it now. I can't. I'm literally tethered to a pipe, you idiot, I hiss, adrenaline finally overriding my fear. I'm frantically trying to find some slack in the leather. The vault door groans. A sliver of light from the hallway cuts through the darkness as the heavy door begins to swing inward. My heart isn't just racing anymore, it's slamming against my ribs like a trapped bird. Through the earpiece, I hear a series of rapid-fire gunshots, closer than before, and then the sound of Jungkook literally running. His breathing is heavy, jagged. If he touches a single hair on your head, I'll kill everyone. I'm coming, pretty girl. I'm coming for you. I'm right there. The door swings wide. A man I don't recognize, one of Choi's guards, face bloodied and eyes wild, stumbles in. He sees me. His eyes travel from my face down to my bound wrists and back up. A sick, desperate smirk crawls across his face. Well, well, he rasps, raising a suppressed pistol. Looks like John left his favorite toy behind. You look delicious meal. Let's taste you. Stay back, I breathe, my voice trembling. YN? Talk to me. What's happening? Jungkook's voice is a low growl in my ear. He's in here, I whimper. He has a gun. Suddenly, the earpiece goes silent. For a split second, I think Jungkook hung up. Then, I hear it. Not through the earpiece, but through the open vault door. A scream. A wet, thudding sound. And then, the silhouette of a man appears in the doorway, framed by the smoke and red emergency lights of the casino. It's a Jungkook. He doesn't even look at the guard. He just moves like a blur of black silk and tattoos. Before the guard can even turn, Jungkook has him by the throat, slamming his head into the edge of the vault door with a sickening crack. The guard drops like a stone, unconscious or worse. Jungkook stands there for a beat, chest heaving, his white dress shirt ruined by streaks of blood and dust. He looks like a demon. Then his eyes find mine. The rage doesn't vanish, but it shifts. It turns into something heavy, dark, and utterly consuming. Jungkook POV. My vision is literally pulsing red. Seeing her tied up like that, knowing that for 3 minutes she was a sitting duck because I put her there. It's doing something to my brain. It's making the possessive, ugly part of me want to lock her in a room and throw away the key, just so I never have to feel this heart-stopping terror again. I walk toward her, my boots clicking on the marble. I don't say a word. I can see her shaking, her eyes wide and glassy with unshed tears. Jungkook, she whispers. I reach her, looming over her, trapping her between the steel pipe and my body. I don't untie her. Not yet. I just stare at her, my hand coming up to cup her jaw, my thumb brushing over her lower lip. I told you to be a good girl, I mutter, my voice sounding like gravel. I told you to stay safe. I was, she snaps, a spark of her usual fire returning. I was literally tied to a wall. What did you want me to do? Fight him off with your belt? A dark, dry chuckle escapes me. I lean in, pressing my forehead against hers. I can feel her pulse fluttering against my palm. She smells like the casino's expensive jasmine soap and her own sweet scent. It's the only thing keeping me grounded. You're okay, I whisper, more to myself than her. You're mine, and you're okay. I reach for the buckle of the belt, my fingers brushing against the sensitive skin of her wrists. I move slowly, intentionally. I want her to feel every second of this. I want her to feel the weight of what just happened. I unloop the leather, but I don't pull away. Instead, I catch both of her hands in one of mine, holding them firmly against the pipe. You know, I murmur, my lips inches from hers, seeing you like this, looking at me with those big, terrified eyes while you're wearing my leather? I let the sentence trail off, my gaze dropping to her mouth. The tension in the vault is so thick, it feels like we're underwater. The sounds of the shootout outside are fading, replaced by the roar of blood in my ears. Jungkook, she breathes, her voice a mix of a warning and a plea. We're not done, YN, not even close. I finally pull the belt away, sliding it back through my pant loops with a sharp snap. I grab her hand, lacing our fingers together so tightly it probably hurts. We need to go. My team cleared the exit. We move fast, heading through the back service corridors of the casino. We're steps away from the black SUV idling in the alleyway. Safety. But as the heavy back door of the casino swings open, the world explodes. A high-pitched ringing fills my ears. The ground tilts. A flash of white light blinds me. An RPG has just hit the car parked 10 feet in front of us. Through the smoke, I see a dozen blacked-out SUVs pulling into the alley, blocking both ends. This wasn't a heist. This was an ambush. I pull YN behind me, my back hitting the cold brick wall as we're surrounded by laser sights dancing across our chests. Jungkook. YN's voice is small, terrified. I look at the men stepping out of the cars. They aren't Mafia. They're wearing tactical gear. Interpol. I look at YN, then at the guns pointed at us. I have one magazine left. Don't let go of my hand, I say, my voice dead calm. No matter what happens, YN, don't let go. YNPOV. If I die today, I'm dying in a $4,000 silk gown while holding the hand of a man who's essentially a walking red flag. Honestly, iconic, but my heart is doing triple time against my ribs as the red laser dots dance across Jungkook's chest. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't even blink. He just tightens his grip on my hand until it's almost bruising. John Jungkook, a voice booms from a megaphone. Drop the weapon and step away from the girl. You're surrounded. Jungkook leans into my ear, his breath hot and smelling of mint and adrenaline. Close your eyes, pretty girl. Count to 5. Jungkook, what are you? Count 2, 5. I close my eyes. 1. I hear a metallic clink, a grenade. 2, a deafening pop, and suddenly the world is nothing but white noise and thick, sulfurous smoke. 3. I'm lifted off my feet, slung over a broad shoulder like a sack of potatoes. 4. The sound of tires screeching and rapid gunfire. 5. I open my eyes, and I'm tossed onto the leather seat of a moving vehicle. Jungkook dives in after me, slamming the door as bullets pepper the armored glass like hailstones. Drive, he roars at the driver. Namjoon, looking stressed out of his mind. We're flying through the streets of Seoul, weaving through traffic like we're in a video game. I'm scrambled, my hair a mess, my heart in my throat. I look at Jungkook. He's leaning back, eyes closed, reloading his piece with a practiced, terrifying grace. You're insane, I breathe, wiping a smudge of soot off my cheek. You're actually legally insane. He opens one eye, a dark, predatory smirk tugging at his lips. But you're still holding my hand, YN. I look down. I am. I let go like I've been burned, and he just chuckles, that deep, vibrating sound that makes my stomach do backflips. I need to finish this. The mole who leaked our location to Interpol is still breathing, and I don't do well with loose ends, especially when they put her in the line of fire. Inside. Now, I command, grabbing her waist and ushering her toward the private elevator. The moment the doors close, the silence is heavy. She turns to me, her eyes blazing. What now, Jungkook? You going to lock me in a closet? Tie me to another pipe? Don't give me ideas, sweetheart, I growl, pinning her against the mirrored wall of the elevator. The space is too small. She's too close. I can see the way her pulse is jumping in her neck. I have to handle business. Real business. The kind you can't see. I'm not a child, Jungkook. No, I murmur, my hand sliding up her thigh, bunching the silk of her dress. You're definitely not a child. That's the problem. The elevator dings. We're in the penthouse. I lead her straight to the heavy desk in the center of the room. I grab a pair of reinforced zip ties from the drawer. Again? Seriously? She huffs, though her breath hitches. For your own safety, I say, my voice dropping to that low, hypnotic register. I can't have you running out of this room when the shooting starts again, and believe me, YN, it's going to start. I guide her hands behind her back, the plastic zip sound echoing in the quiet room. I secure her to the heavy, bolted-down chair. Then I take the earpiece from my pocket, the one I took back in the vault, and slide it into her ear, my fingers lingering on her skin. Listen to me, I whisper, leaning down until our noses touch. If you hear me stop talking, if the line goes dead, you stay here and wait for Namjoon. Do you understand? Her eyes are huge, filled with a mix of fury and genuine heartbreak. Jungkook, don't. Stay put, pretty girl. I kiss her, hard, desperate, tasting of salt and survival, before turning on my heel and walking out, the heavy steel doors locking behind me with a final mechanical click. YN POV. I'm sitting in the dark, my hands bound behind me, the silence of the penthouse suffocating. Then the earpiece crackles. You still there, pretty girl? His voice is calm. Huh? Way too calm. I can hear the sound of a heavy door opening on his end. I'm here, I whisper, my voice thick with tears. Please, just be careful. Always. Oh, look at that. It's the rat. I hear a chair scraping on a concrete floor. Hello, Director Kim. You thought Interpol could protect you? In my city? There's a muffled plea through the comms, a sob. Then the sound of a heavy blow. Shh, Jungkook says, and I can almost see the dark smile on his face. You're interrupting my date. YN, you still listening? Jungkook, stop it, I sob. In a second, baby. I just need to remind everyone who this city belongs to. Suddenly, the earpiece explodes with noise. Not gunshots, an explosion. A massive boom that makes the floor beneath my feet vibrate. Then, the sound of glass shattering and shouting. Jungkook! I scream, straining against the zip ties. Jungkook, answer me! Static. Pure, white static. Then, a new voice comes through the earpiece. It's cold, mechanical, and definitely not Jungkook. Target neutralized. Secure the girl. We're coming up. The elevator dings. The doors open.